Hi everybody, Peretz Eichler on Hit thinking outside the box. Somebody once asked a very successful CEO of a company, what was the key to his success? So of course he attributed it to divine mercy and said, thank God I'm successful. He said, but you know, the most important thing in terms of what I actually do is integrity and intelligence. Well, what do you mean by integrity? When you give your word, make sure that you keep it. And what would be intelligence? Never give your word, he said. Well, of course, we know our word is our bond. When we give our word, we want to make sure we keep it. And more than that, or as much as that, we have to remember our words really can make the difference between life and death. We learned from King Solomon, Shlomo Melech, that Mavis v'chayim, death and life, biyad ha'lashon, are in the hands, as it were, of the way we speak. Now let me tell you an amazing thing that happened to me some time ago when my now married daughter was just about 3 or 4 years old and learning how to swim. Well, while she was taking a swimming lesson, I was giving a class kind of like this one, a little more informal, to a group of people that were learning and being introduced some of the basic concepts of Judaism. One of them has to do with the way we speak. That's right. There are actually laws about how we speak, not speaking negatively. The laws of lashon hara, negative speech, are something which comprise a large body of the work that we study as thinking and committed Jews. And what a difference it makes in all our lives. I mean, you remember that story about the woman executive that made a tweet before she got on an airplane to go to Africa? And the tweet made some type of negative comment about the behavior of certain people in Africa, about the African community. And it was meant tongue-in-cheek, and she was actually going to do business there. By the time she got off the plane in Nairobi, she had been fired. Her tweet went around the world, and before you knew it, she was out of her position in a major corporation where she could have risen to the top, all because of careless, foolish, empty words. So I was speaking to a group about how we have to watch our words and how the renowned Chofetz Chaim used to say that we have to protect our words as though they were valuables. You know, you put your money and your bonds and your most valuable jewels in a safe deposit box. Now, nobody in their right mind would tell the bank manager, oh, just leave my bank box open. It's okay. Just leave the door open. I don't mind it, you know. It's okay. I trust people. Nobody in their right mind would do that, right? You go into the vault, you unlock it very carefully, you take it out with a key, and you only take it out when you need it. And you think about it, you contemplate it, and you make sure that it's protected. So too, says the Chofetz Chaim, our words should be measured as though each one were a valuable jewel. We know that words can hurt and words can heal. So I was talking about how we have to look at our words and that which protects our words, our mouth, our palate, our teeth, our mind. Thinking about what we say before we say it is kind of a fortress of wisdom. It protects us. It protects the people around us. And I was saying, more often than not, if you really want to keep yourself out of trouble, keep your mouth closed. And that'll save you from a lot of agmas nefesh, a lot of aggravation. And when you speak nicely to people, you'll be surprised how much that will gain you. Even if you don't really quite mean it, doesn't mean you're a phony. It means that you want to be nice. It means that you're trying to behave in a way that people will say, oh, why didn't I think about speaking like that? Or that person speaks in such a refined manner. They wouldn't think of saying something crude in front of you. So as I finished saying this, I get a call from my wife, and she told me that there's a blessing which I might think about saying, which has to do with a blessing of gratitude when somebody has been saved from a particularly precarious, dangerous, life-threatening situation. Well, I said, what happened? I just gave a class. There was nothing life-threatening about that. She said, you don't understand. Our little girl, Molly, had been taking a swimming lesson in a pool, and she was on one of those little rubber noodles swimming behind her. When all of a sudden I heard somebody yell, she's underwater. I hear a splash. And it was the swimming coach who had just left. And she saw that our little girl had been underwater, submerged, and she saved her life. So I called the person right away and I said, I wanted to thank you. Oh, she said, you don't really understand what happened. She said, I was leaving the swimming pool after giving your daughter the lesson. And I was about to leave, but I don't know why, like a sixth sense made me think I should just turn around. And I did, and I saw these little hands just above the water, and they weren't flailing. And I know that as a swimming instructor, that if the hands aren't moving, that means that the person beneath them is too tired, exhausted, and cannot even move their hands, and they are going down for the last time. I dove in immediately and pulled your daughter up. Thank God she's alive and she's well. But you know what's even more interesting, she told me? Just before I left, I told your daughter, Molly, if you're ever in trouble in the water, if you're ever in trouble, just keep your mouth closed. And you know, that's exactly what she did. Now I thought to myself, nothing happens by accident. Here I was talking to a group of people about the benefits, the value of our words, protecting our words. And at that very moment, those words were enveloping and protecting my daughter, who today, thank God, is married, grown, and you can be sure that she's careful about what she says, as so should all of us. Our most valuable commodity are words and how we use them. Let's make sure that we do. For Thinking Outside the Locks on Hit a Brute, this is Peretz Eichler.